There we go, ladies and gentlemen. It is now Friday night, as you're probably well aware, but this is now the Paranormal Portal, and it's time to get into our Friday night festivities as always. The beautiful part about this Friday night is that I'm not alone. I am joined by the big branch of my personal family tree. My son, Mr. Sheldon, is here. How you doing, Sheldon?
I'm doing okay. I'm glad to be here after all this time. Glad to be back. Just getting over a cold. So that's why I might sound a little different. No, it's not because I'm cooler. It's just because I'm feeling better now.
You are cold. You didn't have a cold. You are cold. Like, you know.
Better than cool. I'm cold.
Better than cool. You're cold. Yeah, absolutely. But it's great to have you here, buddy. And thank you for coming on, even though you aren't feeling 100%. It's good to have you here.
It's good to be here.
Well, good. I guess we're all in agreement about that.
Yeah.
We got a lot to get to tonight, folks. Of course, we're going to be getting into the news, which is kind of the ritual right after we open the shows. And then we're going to get to the Discord question of the week. We're going to get to some other creepy, weird stuff that we love so here. And we're going to get to the Cryptid Corner. But before we go any further, look what I got. I got mail. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you may be thinking, wow, that's a very big envelope. And you'd be right in saying that. It is a very big envelope. However, it's because it includes a very big piece of paper.
Whoa.
And in this very big piece of paper, which I am unveiling here, starts out with a little message. And this message says, "Dear Brent, here's my painting of the D-hole that has become a creature of legend in the portal." It said it's painted with watercolors, and you can use this for a merchandise design, which is really cool. I think that could definitely be a part of future endeavors for the show. She said, if anybody in the groups are interested, I got a piece of salt in my eye. My God, I ate a pretzel and it went right in my eyeball. Oh God, that hurts.
Something's got to go wrong on the show once.
It says she'll be happy to post the brands and colors in the Discord if anybody's interested. So I hope this smile brings the painting brings a smile to you and everyone in the portal. Sincerely, Rachel. And then she warned me that it has not been sprayed or anything, so do not get it wet. But, ladies and gentlemen, from our very own Rachel Gets It Right. Dun, 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 dun. Is it focused?
It is.
Okay, can you read it?
That's awesome.
The D-hole Incident by Rachel, watercolor.
I love it.
That's awesome. Oh my God. Just because I mispronounced a word, it's just become legendary, but it is really beautiful. Very colorful and amazing. Let me do this. I'm going to go to one camera here just so that I can really show it, but
Yeah.
It is fantastic. This is just amazing. Thank you so much. The cow saying poor D-hole. As it gets sucked up into the, the Hoover vent of a UFO. So that is awesome. That is just beautiful and awesome. So thank you, Rachel. This will be adorning the walls of the studio shortly. I've got several pieces now that I got to get mounted and so that I can securely place them up on the walls. But this is beautiful. Excuse me. It is just awesome. I am just honored. And if any of you have other pieces of artwork that you'd like to submit to the show to help decorate this very bland studio, this part of the studio behind me is very colorful and lit. Everything else is just a wide expanse of white walls. And yeah, it's just not real fun to look at. So I just thought, hey, it'd be neat if any of you guys out there that, even if you don't have artistic abilities, but just wanted something to represent you as part of the family on the studio walls, I would love to receive it. And how do you send it to me, you might ask? Well,
yeah,
this is where the magic happens. I'm trying to put it all away as I talk, but you will go to paranormalportal.net. Let me do this. I got to try to do it in the fly here, paranormalportal.net. And I'm going to drag it over to the other screen. So paranormalportal.net is basically the nerve center of all things Paranormal Portal. And if you go to paranormalportal.net, this is the site you're going to see. And when you look at this site, you'll scroll down. You'll be like, oh, I didn't know this about the show. There's the latest podcast episode. Very cool. Oh, look at that. That's how talking about the podcast. And if I want to be a guest, I click here. Okay. And here is the link to the entire podcast catalog if you're so interested. Here's the link to our YouTube. Here is the link to our TikTok. There's just a little bit about me because, well, there should be a little me in here, right? And I don't need any help. Thank you, Cookie Monster. And then here's a video that Sheldon put together to kind of break down what is the Paranormal Portal. And down here on the bottom, this is where the magic is for sending in your own artwork. It says to send packages or letters. You can send it to Paranormal Portal, P.O. Box 483, Sandpoint, Idaho, 83864. And this is where you send your magical works of art. Now, first and foremost, you don't need to be an artist. I'd love to see crayon drawings. I don't care. Just things that represent you guys and can be part of the memories and history of the shows that would be on the walls here in the studio. So if you feel so inclined, I would be honored. And of course, I'll feature what you send on the show. So I'm motioning to the camera that's not even on me on the show. So there we go. So that was really cool. I was really excited to get that because, of course, I'd received things from Barbara, and you can see the little Sasquatch stuffed animal that was made here. There's the 3D printed Sasquatch over here right next to the glowing moon behind me. And then there's the footprint that Barbara made, the ceramic footprint. There's the beautiful picture that was painted of the Bigfoot on the fence. I've gotten several of these pieces now, and I'm absolutely amazed and wonderful. And I can't thank you guys enough. Because, honestly, I really do put my heart and soul into this. This is the pursuit of a lifetime for me. And it means the world that you guys are a part of it. And it's really cool that some of you want to send in a little piece of you and have it represented on the studio walls here. So that's how you do it. Go to paranormalportal.net. Find the P.O. Box address at the bottom of the page and send it over. I don't care if it's a sketch or, one of those hand turkeys you make in kindergarten. Whatever. A hand turkey.
Someone send stick figures. I would love to see it.
I'd like to see a D-hole represented in stick figures. No, I'm just kidding. That just sounds all wrong. That sounded all wrong. It came out all weird. So anyway, that's how you do it, folks. But Sheldon, you got a hankering for some news?
I always have a hankering for news.
All right, well, let's get to the news, folks, and find out just what I've curated for your benefit here on the Paranormal Portal News Desk coming up right now. 'Tis the most trusted news, and I'm hopefully the most trusted anchor ever in the history of news. Right? I'm like the Walter Cronkite of paranormal news. You never know. I could have been in a past life if I was not alive during his life anyway. Anyway, let's get to the news and see what's cooking, what I've pulled up here for you. I'm kind of all over the map here. There we go. All right, the first one up tonight on the Paranormal Portal News Festival of Fun is coming from unexplained-mysteries.com. Please support this site. They are phenomenal. I love this site, and I can't recommend it enough. And if you like the news, this is where the news has been coming from primarily ever since its inception, because I've never found a site like this. It's just so punctual, timely, and relevant, and there's things that are good for the show, and there's things that have nothing to do with the kind of show that I run, but there's a whole spectrum of things over there and information, and it's all very timely and well done. So support them. And the first one up is from unexplained-mysteries.com. The Pentagon has launched an official website for UFO reports. That's right, folks. The Pentagon has entered the modern era.
Finally.
Yep, there you go. No longer need to send telegraphs over, I don't know, over the walls of the building. I don't know how the hell they do it. But anyway, they have a website, so rest assured they're working hard for all of us. Okay, well, they're working for somebody anyway. Maybe it's not all of us, but they're working for somebody. The official site of the All-Domain Anomaly Research Resolution Office, will make sightings, photographs, and documents easy to view. But in an intriguing move, the Department of Defense announced yesterday that it had launched an official website dedicated to providing the public with information concerning AARO, or ARO, and its efforts to understand and resolve unidentified anomalous phenomena. The new site promises to make reports, photographs, and videos regarding resolved cases available to the public as and when they are declassified. Okay. As well as to provide information and answers to commonly asked questions more easily available. You got that right. So you know what you're going to find is you're going to find weather balloons, and you're going to find Batman balloons at 30,000 feet, and you're going to find all kinds of videos like that are going to be great to watch. So definitely excited about that. You're not going to find Roswell crashes and them sitting out there with rakes getting it all in a bucket. You're not going to find that there, I'm betting. Oh. It will also provide a tool to enable government employees and servicemen to report their own UFO sightings, something that has up until now been problematic for them to do. Jeez, wow. That's another great use of taxpayer resources. The department is committed to transparency, right? Sorry, just give me a second. It's hard to read this without chuckling. Because when I think government, I think of transparency. With the American people on Arrow's work on UAP, a press release about the launch states. Well, they said it in the press. That's what they meant. This website will serve as a one-stop shop for all publicly available information related to ARO. And the UAP and RO will regularly update the website with its most recent activities and findings as new information is cleared for public release. You can check out the site for yourself here. How many of you are so excited that they've finally done this? God, I wish I still had the crickets. Maybe I do. No, I don't. I don't have the crickets button anymore available. But
I mean, half of me is excited because they're at least acknowledging, but on the other hand, it's like, transparency.
Well, they said that they're dedicated to transparency, fallacy number one, which anybody knows with the workings of government. It's not dedicated to transparency. They don't want you to know. And I'm not anti-government or anything. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, come on. And then they say they're gonna put all the declassified stuff up there. Well, you know what that is. You could probably find more on YouTube than you'll ever find on here. And good luck finding valid, unidentified phenomena available up there. Outside of the Tic Tac videos, which will probably be available there, but they're available everywhere. So I don't know. You know, I'd love to believe that this was going to be a step forward and an open and honest conversation between us and the government, but I'm just not an idiot. So so far,
whatever the government touches, it's just all.
Oh my God! It's just red tapes and they complicate the hell out of things. Yep. I don't know. I'm not trying to be negative about this, but come on. I mean, the history would show that they've obviously had information about this stuff for a long time and called people that had sightings basically idiots. You know, so why are we suddenly supposed to think, well, not anymore. They're going to open the windows and let some air in. No, they're not.
Yeah, that's true. That's hilarious. They've been calling everyone who had these experiences crazy, and then now it's like, oh my God, yeah, so we have a whole branch now, guys. You're right.
Hey guys,
it's like,
yeah,
okay.
it's like the kid on the playground that nobody plays with anymore because he's dicked over everybody, and then he said, "Hey guys, wait, I got a new idea. Let's play together." It's like, no.
I built a clubhouse and everything, guys.
And a website. Come on over. It's like, yeah, no. Yeah. I don't have a lot of faith in things like this. I mean, maybe someday we'll get to a point where there'll be some true transparency and we'll maybe be able to tell, because there's guys like David Grush that came out and said, look, we've got bodies, we've got wreckage, we recovered that stuff. And it's like, well, okay, so this was going back into the 1940s, if not earlier, that they've had this stuff and they've been collecting this stuff and still calling everyone else an idiot. So I'm just not real optimistic about it. I'm sorry. I just got to be out in the open on this. So anyway, I guess one thing you'll know for sure is that I'm not a governmental mouthpiece.
Hey, true. You're proving that at least.
All right, so let's get to the next story. Oh, yeah, like they'd make me a mouthpiece of anything. All right, let's get to the next one. Here we go. This one is coming from unexplained-mysteries.com as well. And it's another great, chapter in the world of government and UFOs. So let's get into this one. And this is... Boom. Congress intrigued by UFO testimonies, says Jeff Duncan. Well, sure they're intrigued. It's voting season. Of course they care, folks, because they're your representatives. It's voting season pretty soon. So, they're going to care about a lot of things for a while. And
we're back to that 4-year cycle, guys. Just remember that. 4-year cycle.
Yeah. Recent claims concerning UFOs and alien biologics have reportedly intrigued several members of Congress. Last month's subcommittee hearing on the topic of UFOs or UAPs certainly brought some interesting claims to light, including those of David Grush, well, there you go, who maintained the U.S. government had found non-human biologics at UFO crash sites and had been covering up evidence for years. Dedicated to transparency.
Yep, there's the proof.
Since then, several prominent figures from politicians and celebrities to lifelong UFO researchers have offered up their views on the hearing and the remarkable claims that were presented there. Most recently, U.S. Representative Jeff Duncan offered his thoughts when the conversation turned towards UFOs and alien visitation at the annual Faith and Freedom Barbecue in South Carolina. Well, that's where I like to have my discussions too, at the Faith and Freedom Barbecue. I'm not in those hearings. I've talked to my colleagues, he said, and they're very intrigued about it. They believe what they have heard. We'll see. It's kind of exciting to think about that. We'll see. Yes, see you at the voting booth. I don't know what the truth is. I think the truth's out there. You know where the truth ain't?
In government?
There's a picture of it right there. Sorry, I sound like a dick right now, but I just, it's like, don't play people for idiots. We do remember. It was, 2 weeks ago they were telling everybody they were idiots for believing in UFOs, and now it's, what, that leaked? Oh, yeah, for sure. We're dedicated to transparency now. No, you're not. No, you're not.
It's just too little too late. It's one of those things.
Well, exactly. I mean, it's kind of like all of this stuff. Waiting for disclosure, I think, is just kind of one of those pipe dreams. It's like waiting for someone that doesn't have a conscience to have a conscience. It's like, it's like waiting for a narcissist to develop a conscience. It's like, yeah, probably not going to happen. Probably not going to, you're going to be waiting a long time. So might as well take a hobby up or do some research yourself because, I can't even say what I was going to say. It was going to be madly inappropriate. But my filter is engaged, folks, because I like monetization.
Wow, nice transparency, Dad.
Well, that was transparent because I can't give you the uncensored version and continue to get a stipend from YouTube for all my efforts. So
true.
All right. So there you go. That's more news. People are intrigued. Intrigued is the buzzword today, folks, because Jeff Duncan's intrigued. Now, I don't know who this guy is. I mean, and maybe he's a fantastic guy, but my point is that you're not going to just suddenly wake up and find that all the books are open and they're willing to share everything because of two words: national security. And those two words will shut down any kind of conversation in a heartbeat. All they have to do is claim national security. It's a matter of national security, and the dialogue stops. So I it'd be nice, but not in this school bus. So anyway, let's get to the next one. But you may not have known about all this before, so you're welcome. Now you do. True. Now you do. Yeah. All right. Well, sticking with the alien thing, there's some apparently some footage coming out of Bolivia dealing with just that. Dealing with just that, folks. This is from unexplained-mysteries.com. I don't know if there's a video about it. Good. Okay, so I don't have to worry about showing a video, which is problematic on Friday and Saturday nights. So there is images that you'll see on your screen if you're watching this live on YouTube. If not, then I would just tell you to go to unexplained-mysteries.com and look for an extraterrestrial article entitled Alleged Alien Captured on Camera Along Bolivia's Pilcomayo River. So there you go. Good luck spelling Pilcomayo if you're not seeing this. I have trouble spelling my name. No. Let's get to this one. This is the next article. And there's the picture there. And that looks like... It looks like a stick man walking. It really does. I mean, it's obviously been zoomed in. It's been cropped in just to get to the meat and taters here. But that doesn't look like a body that would support much weight. But we don't know much about these things. What are they made of? I mean, their muscles might be like corded steel, whereas ours are these, fat bags of tissue. So maybe they're exceptionally strong and robust, but they don't look very beefy. An image of what looks like a semi-transparent extraterrestrial entity recently went viral on social media. Yeah, I don't know. I skipped my feed. I never heard of that before. Take a look at the above photograph. What can you see? I see the stick man. Okay. All right. Just wanted to review. There was a scene. This was the scene captured along the Pilcomayo River on the city of Tarija, Bolivia, or Tarija. I don't know if that's a HJ or if it's a JJ. Recently, when something unexpected showed up while a man was being filmed in the foreground. Okay, so this was in the background of his video. Exhibiting anomalous proportions, long limbs, and an almost skull-like head, the figure looks distinctly like stereotypical alien entity that you might see in science fiction movies or TV shows. On top of that, it appears semi-transparent with the background partially visible through its body. Now, I'm curious if they actually saw it as they were doing this, or is this only visible on playback? That would be interesting to know. It looks like a transparent being with long limbs, typical of a gray being, said ufologist Javier Carlos Cordero. but we must apply a filter to the photo that will allow us to determine its veracity. Tarija seems to have a special connection to activities of this type, and this reinforces the notion that there could be something more at play. Skeptics argue that the image is a clear hoax created by digitally inserting the alien into the picture, especially since there's no reflection of it in the nearby water. What do you think? That's a good point. That is, I was just looking because I was like, oh, there's water. Oh yeah, this is water. Okay. I do find that peculiar. Yeah. I would say that is a red flag. I don't know if that screams hoax, but it's definitely a red flag. What do you think, Sheldon?
Doesn't help its case. Doesn't help its case that it's real, at the very, very least.
Your Honor, I submit Exhibit A. There was no reflection. Okay, well, that's a good point. That's a good catch, actually, by people reviewing it. You would think if it's visible here, then whatever lights that exist, I mean, we can see the other background in the reflection from the water, so why nothing of this guy? Now, I don't like when they use transparent. They say transparent. Well, it's not transparent. If it was transparent, you couldn't see it at all. A window is transparent, but you can see something of a figure here. So it's not completely transparent. It's at least translucent. Maybe just by virtue of it being curved and three-dimensional, it would have visibility. Because if you put a transparent glass sculpture up there, it would show some features, but not all. And so maybe it still qualifies, but I always consider that, well, it's not transparent because you can see it. Transparent is like invisible, right? But maybe there's another term. So,
Mora has a good point. Maybe it's a vampire alien.
It's yeah, you mean it could. It's the living pin. It's got a big round head and a stick for a body. Yep, there you go. Maybe it is. Good point. By the way, next week, Don and I are going to be in Vernal, Utah for Phenomicon, and we did get a table. It turns out we got a table there. It's going to be in the hallway, right next to Barbara's, as a matter of fact. Absolutely right next to Barbara's. I just solidified it all today. So you're going to see a lot of us, Barbara. We're going to be neighbors. So that'll be a lot of fun, but it'll be good to get back there. That'll be the 6th through the 9th, I guess is the show. So if you're in the neighborhood of Vernal, Utah this next week, stop in and say hello to us. It's going to be a good time. And we know Barbara will be there. I'm hoping you're bringing snacks, Barbara. I like cookies. All right, so I think I got one more. What time is it, though? Let me look.
9:28.
Yeah, we got time for one more. Why not? Okay.
Oh, why not? We're not in a rush.
We're not. I mean, I'm the boss, right? I can do whatever I want.
I'm second in command. We're not in a rush.
You're second in command. When did you get promoted to second in command?
I don't know. Just because I'm your son, I have no idea.
This is a monarchy. There's no structure of power beyond the king. Come on.
By a peon? I'm a peon. Okay.
Yeah. I would have called you a serf, but whatever.
Okay.
You want to go with peon? We can work with that, I guess. All right. Anyway, but let's get to this one because this certainly isn't what you expect to see in. What the hell do I have that? Oh, I remember. Okay, I just had something pop up on my screen. I was like, wait, I don't recognize this. All right, and let me look at the this, look at the this, and look at the that. All right, the next one up is the last article tonight on the news. This is coming from, of course, unexplained-mysteries.com, and this one's kind of wild. There is a video attached, and I guess I could play it. There is no sound. I did watch it ahead just to make sure. Looks like it comes from Channel 2, an NBC affiliate from Nebraska, so we'll check it out. But police in Nebraska pull over man driving with bull in the passenger seat. Now, let me just show you the video. Let's just watch the video. For those of you that are listening on TFR, iHeart, TuneIn, and TalkStream Live, just bear with us. Bear with us because, wait, there's more. Here's the video, and it's no sound, so we don't have to worry about that. But as you can see, that's a mighty big bull. And he's a good passenger, too. However, look how he chopped half the cab off. When the camera works its way around, you're going to see the exhaust on this thing. And it's absolutely frightening. Look at the side of that car. Yeah, that bull has been venting quite a bit. It looks like he hit like a small mud puddle that only got the back passenger side of the car. And you know it's the leavings. There it is. Did you see that image? Look at that. I gotta stop this and go back.
Oh God!
Look at that.
Oh no!
Some people go with the hanging little trees, but man, this guy brought the whole bull.
Oh,
look at that. I mean, what do you do with that? Best car entry, it says.
You can't even get a car wash because it'll just fill it. You can't. Yeah, what do you do?
I think you kill it with fire after they let the bull out. You just burn it because, man, that car has been painted with all kinds of fecal matter. that cow seems to have some exceptionally loose stools. I'm not sure if that's normal for cows, but man, it's looking like a whole fountain from hell coming out of there. That's horrible. So I thought this was funny, but yep, there you go, folks. The guy had a bull. What?
You didn't have Taco Bell, you know.
Yo quiero Taco Bell. Yeah, he had some Taco Bell. That is a nightmare scenario. You imagine following this car and what?
Oh.
I mean, freeway speeds. Come on, seriously.
You're gonna make sure nobody tailgates you.
And you get your window open. Are you serious? What's that, Brown? Oh my God! I think I got it in my mouth. Oh my God. That's horrible. Horrible stuff, folks. Yeah, you definitely don't want to be speeding with that. And God forbid he had an accident or something. You know that bull's going to be like flying into somebody's face.
Oh God. Yeah,
that's an enormous bull too. I mean, I don't know what kind of bull that is, but it's scary big. It says officers couldn't believe their eyes when they spotted the vehicle cruising along the huge bovine riding shotgun. The enormous animal, which was far too large to actually fit in the car, was seen standing in a special cutout with the entire right-hand side of the vehicle's front completely missing. It turned out that owner Lee Meyer, had driven the bull in parades for years, and the animal named Howdy Doody was not an uncommon sight thanks to his specially modified ride. Couldn't come up with anything for the refuse there, though? Like a little bucket, maybe? Just a bucket? I mean, come on. Officers spotted the Ford Crown Vic sedan as it approached Nebraska on Wednesday. We didn't have a full understanding of it until we saw it, said Norfolk Police Captain Chad Ryman. It wouldn't go far without being noticed, for sure. There you go. Even the long arm of the law. Look at it on the other side, though. The other side's kind of funny. Because what is that? Oh, he took out the letters P.O. This is an old police car. So, so there you go, folks. That's you might not have ever heard of that before, but
Arnold Lice.
Arnold Lice, yeah. Poor Arnold Lice. Yeah, but look at the size of that. I mean, that thing is just, good God. You imagine the suspension in that vehicle?
That's what I was thinking. I'm surprised it can support it.
Yeah, me too. I mean, of course, police, like law enforcement vehicles, are built with a really strong suspension because they have to perform exceptionally well. But I don't think they're meant for bulls. But I'm sure he had to beef that up. Oh, hold, you see what I did there? He had to beef that up quite a bit.
Oh, God.
Well, thank you very much. I'm here all night. So, I don't know. Man, Meals on Wheels, brother. Oof. Okay. Heading to McDonald's. Woo! All right, so that's been the news. Now, I'm going to have to take an impromptu break because it turns out I need the facilities. So I'm going to have to close out the news, and then we're going to head right to break. And I'm going to take care of business, and then we'll be right back at it. So
is it familiar as to what we're seeing on the
no,
picture?
nothing that devastating. It should just be a quick visit. Should just get a little pressure off the valve, then we'd be good. We'd be good.
Okay. Just making sure it's the right valve.
Thank you, Sheldon. Yes, my valves are fine. Appreciate your curiosity.
Just making sure.
All right. Whew. I feel much better. Thank you. Thank you for that little indulgence. Thought I was all prepared, but, well, nature had other plans. So,
Glad your valves are clear.
yeah. Never mind. Again, filter engaged. Got to remember. I'm trying to remember. So, thank you for being a part of the news. We hope you enjoyed it and learned something as we're moving forward through our night of fun here on the Friday Frights on the Paranormal Portal. Because coming up next is a segment that I really enjoy. I checked, it's probably a Watusi cow, a breed of cattle from Africa, said Rachel. Wow. That's enormous, whatever the hell it is. Jeez. I mean, maybe they have to be, because if they're in Africa, they probably got to compete with lions and stuff, and so they need to be huge and strong. Oh, man. I don't know how he got that in that car, though. Maybe he doesn't even, maybe just forego the shocks on one side and just put, steel supports in there connecting to the axle. I'm not sure how that works, but that's a lot of animal to be put in a car. I almost said a cow. Yeah, there you go. That'll do it. So that was a ginormous kangaroo. That's a joey for sure. Nature called me, you're right, Jess, and I answered because the alternative would be to just make a mess out of the studio here. And yeah, well, I work about 14 hours a day in here, so you know, I got to keep it nice. So you know your little brother?
Yeah.
Okay, well, he's got a YouTube channel called Elijah JB Gamer.
Yep.
It was at like 212 subs 2 days ago.
Oh.
It's now over 1,000.
What?
I have no idea. He's been playing with these big names. He's been matching up with some of these, big YouTubers. And so
I am looking him up right now.
yeah, he's got over 1,000 subs now, just like in 2 days. I'm like, oh my God. So
I can't believe it. I see it.
isn't that something?
Oh my God.
I'm absolutely astonished. It's like, yeah, way go Elijah Minion. Yeah, he's going all right. Jeez. I mean,
Oh my God.
meanwhile, I'm grinding the slow crawl. Mrs. Portal has a crochet site that's at like 27,000 subs too. It's everything arts and crafts. So it's like, oh my God, I've been grinding at this for 7 years, and they come in like the last couple years, and they're just killing it. I'm like, what am I doing wrong?
Can't believe it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, the Mrs. channel is everything arts and crafts, and the Minions is Elijah JB Gamer. So, yeah, they're doing great. Apparently the paranormal isn't as big as I thought. No, I mean this isn't a what is it? A pageant of any kind. I mean, I'm absolutely thrilled that people are finding their shows and stuff, but it is mind blowing. It's like, wow. The only time this channel ever had a spike in subscribers when it was like I got 600 in 1 month, and that was after I appeared on Sasquatch Chronicles. Ever since then, it's just been the army belly crawl, and that's okay. I mean, I'd rather people find the show because it's what they want rather than just, let's click on this and subscribe and then unsubscribe later or something. I'd rather people are here that want to be here, but still it's like, wow, how did they do that? I don't even know. Hey, David.
Got a good point.
Yeah.
Thanks. Like, yes, get the little branch to give you a shout out. He'll grow past you. And then he's like, yeah, by the way, this is my dad's channel.
Yeah, no kidding. You'll be sitting at, 500K. I'll go check out my dad's show. He's got a show. I'll get like 3. Thank you, all 3 of you from the Gamer channel.
Oh my God. I can't.
Yeah, that's it. He's rolling it. I don't know what's going on, man. Everybody's just caught this wave, and I'm still waiting for I'm like on my board paddling, just waiting, looking for my wave, but it's okay. But anyway, I thought that was really cool. It's like 2 days he went from 200 to over 1,000. It's like, wow, I don't get it. It's amazing. So it can happen, folks. It can happen.
Yep.
All right. So anyway, let's continue on here as we continue through the night and get to the next segment. And this one, I got to say a special thank you to Chucky, as always. Chucky Dangers keeping the questions of the week flying, and he's doing a hell of a job. Thank you so much.
Is.
And to all of you. And thank you to everybody that's posting in the Discord. If you're not currently a member of the Discord, I will put a link in the chat, but it's also in the description below. But to join, you think I'd do this before the shows, but nope, not me. I like to do things on the fly. So https://discord.gg/paranormal portal. There it is. And you too can be part of our Discord community. Just click that link and it'll bring you up there. And this is what you'll see. If you click and join, you're going to see this. Over here as the servers. King Coakley just joined. King Coakley is better known as Rob Coakley of Hometown Ghost Stories, and I've been on their show a few times. They came on this show, and we had a blast. I just love those guys. They're doing a hell of a job, so look for their Discord as well, Hometown Ghost Stories. They do a live show on YouTube every Tuesday night, and they do another one, different format on, I think, Thursday or Friday, but no, I think it's Thursday night, where they do a different format and a supplemental show. But they're great guys. Please support what they're doing. I would think at least a couple 100,000 people would tune in if they knew about the Paranormal Portal. Yeah, that's the tough part, though, Smooth Landon. I appreciate that. It means a lot to me, but it's just double tough to get noticed on YouTube. It really is. It's tough for people to find you, and there are literally millions of channels out there. So if like For the Minion, I'm pretty sure it's just he teamed up and played. I mean, not that this has a lot to do with the show, but just since we're talking about it, he teamed up and played with a guy that has like 4.6 million subscribers, and played on his stream for a couple hours. So I mean, I'm pretty sure the bump has come probably because of that. But he's done it a few times and gotten these little spurts. But this has been really incredible. So very cool.
How did he get that opportunity?
I don't know. He's just hanging out in game rooms and caught these people. I mean, he loves YouTube anyway. He's always watching. So, I mean, he probably saw the name. It's like, oh, I know that guy, and jumped in there and just roll of the dice. He got sucked into some games. So very cool. Yeah. But, if I could figure out that secret sauce, I'd be happy to, believe me.
Hang out in some game rooms or some paranormal game rooms.
Yeah, I know. I got to find them. Yeah. So anyway, the question of the week is a question we pose to all of you guys, all of our Discord members, and just to hear what you think, because we always give you our opinions, and it's been really phenomenal to see the ideas you guys have about this weird stuff we talk about, because the truth of it is we just don't know what any of it is. We have ideas, we have theories, but you guys have brought things to the table that I probably never would have considered in 5 lifetimes. So it was pretty phenomenal to read these every time. But Chucky posted the latest question for tonight's show. Remember, tomorrow night there won't be a Discord question of the week because Deb Varner's going to be here doing readings. She's going to be here tomorrow night on the show doing readings. So don't look for a question of the week tonight and basically all of next week, because Don and I will be gone, and we'll stream here and there when we can. But there's going to be nothing scheduled, including an investigation on the Uinta Basin. We're going to hook up with Supernatural Station, Jaron and Roman, and connect with them on some property that they have that's very near Skinwalker Ranch. So we're going to go out there for a night and see what we can find. But it's looking good. It's going to be exciting. So Deb will be here tomorrow night. So tune in. If you're looking for a free psychic reading, by God, I couldn't recommend Deb more to anybody. I mean, I just love her, and she's been such a long-time friend. 7 years she's been doing this. Last month was her 7th year anniversary with the Paranormal Portal. Thank you, Deb.
Awesome, Deb. Awesome.
She's just such an amazing person and friend, and she does this free for you guys. And so take advantage of it. See what she's got to say. Maybe she can point you in a direction you needed to go. So, and otherwise, just sit back and listen and enjoy the show. I've been doing it for years, and I still never get tired of listening to Deb do readings. And it's kind of nice. I just turn into a receptionist for a night. Hi, let me hold this line. Hi, welcome to the show. I'll let you talk to Deb. And then I just fade out.
True.
I mean, pretty much that's my role. But it's kind of refreshing because I don't have to think of any content or dig up things for the show. So I get to just kind of kick back and watch her work. So tomorrow night, but Chucky Danger's question of the week for the Friday show. Sheldon, did you want to read this or you want me to grab it?
I'll try.
All right, you go ahead.
I'll give it a shot.
Okay.
All right, Chucky Danger. And I actually loved this question when I saw it, because it's something I have also always wondered. But Chucky Danger says, The Simpsons has for some unknown reason been able to predict future events, and in some cases the details are almost exact. How do you think this is possible? Is it just manifestations?
Yeah, great question.
Ariana Abyss says, I believe the elites relay information they obtain and release it through some movies and TV programs. Possible.
Yeah, that's an interesting take. It could very well be.
Yeah. Colleen Bow?
Sure.
Colleen Bow says, I've been wondering that for a long time. I think Matt Groaning?
Graining, yeah.
Graining.
Yep.
Is in the know of what is going on.
Mm-hmm.
This is the way the elites put it out there for us to see.
Yeah.
Another similar take, yep. Gosh. Artemis RF says, I think it's just a combination of luck and people trying to make something out of nothing. The show is currently up to 750 episodes. They write about things that are going on in the world. It's just sort of like the lottery. If you buy 750 Powerball tickets, the odds of you getting a winning ticket are in the 1 in 389,602. If you only bought one, your odds would be 1 in, 292,201,338. The more episodes, the more likely they hit a jackpot episode. I think they just write things that seem plausible, and humans use it as a way to see patterns.
Good point.
It's kind of like how some people like to claim Star Trek invented the idea of cell phones and tablets. It's not that they predicted these things. They came up with the concepts that seemed technologically possible and then inspired inventors who designed similar products.
Yeah, those are good takes. Yeah.
It is true, too. I mean, it's obviously possible. It could be chance.
Sure. I mean, there's enough material out there that the law of averages would kick in, and they're going to nail it sometimes. Sure.
Yeah. But good point so far.
Yep.
Android Paranormal says, I have watched very few episodes of The Simpsons, mainly because about 1/3 of them were released when I was too young to watch and fully understand that stuff. Parents were pretty strict on me watching that kid stuff till I was about 12. But I never...
What's going on in your house there, buddy?
Oh, God. Their dogs are playing.
Oh, that's cute.
But Android also says, but I never caught on to watching it, really. So I have very little informed opinion here, but I think it's part of it has to do with the fact that they have 750 plus episodes. So you're bound to get some things right by chance with that many episodes.
There you go.
However, some things I've seen are very specific scenarios they got right, which are pretty mind-blowing. So maybe they have some sort of future psychic one of the writers consults with. That's a good point, too. Maybe someone's just naturally gifted and they don't realize it.
Sure. I mean, like, for instance, Trump becoming president. They literally depicted the scene of him riding down the escalators almost exactly as it was captured on the news. It was like scary prediction, scary accurate, so it was like, wow, how'd they manage that?
Yeah. I mean, sure, technically it could be chance, but
yeah,
I do agree. Some of the things I saw was like, whoa, wait a second here. So it's hard to know. It's hard to know.
Sure.
Marie says, Matt.
Matt?
Yeah, I said Matt. Matt Groening is a time traveler.
Yeah, maybe.
Ooh.
Wouldn't that be wild? It's like, he's just shooting back and forth, bringing us the news early.
CMB coming in saying, I think one of the possibilities is that they use algorithms and mathematics and determine the premises on probability. They have like 700 plus episodes. Still less than Naruto. Yeah, true.
Yep.
But I think it's a better aspect of this world would be to count the amount of content they don't have correct to see their overall accuracy. Oh, that's true. In other words, a broken clock is right twice a day and up 500 days worth. And that sounds like a lot of being right.
Yep. I only have one thing to say to that.
Yeah.
Kage no Bunshin Jutsu. Okay, I'm done. There should be a few of me somewhere. They didn't appear here, but there should be some of me around.
You guys know the reference. I applaud you. K-Love saying, I think the writer overheard things while attending private parties. Maybe one too many drinks and the secret info was flowing out.
Yep, loosen them up with some booze. That'll get the clock churning. Yep, good point.
ZX81V2 saying, right. A few of the Simpsons writers actually answered this. The reason they seem to get predictions is because how the writers operate with current news and things they could imagine happening from analyzing real-world politics or real-world events. It's not magic. It's just probability of things happening. I guessed Boris would be Prime Minister of UK years before he even decided to run. not fortune telling, just probability of something happening. And state guess, gut feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure these premises are often based around current events or probabilities, I guess. So yeah, I mean that's a good take.
True. Luna Municorn saying, maybe we are in a simulation. It's just leaked information from the operating system, or probability. I think when you have a catalog of episodes so large, you are bound to get things correct when predict stuff. If you think about it, science fiction has predicted stuff since the beginning of the genre began. Mm-hmm. What is impressive is the accuracy of some of the things The Simpsons have shown.
Yeah, good point.
That's the thing. It's that accuracy. I mean, sure, there is a chance.
Right.
And, I mean, it does. I mean, if they do analyze current events like that and make predictions here and there, then it's possible. Maybe they just guessed right. It's hard to say.
Yeah. Good point.
Rachel 101's coming in saying, I think the writers of The Simpsons need to be quite sharp for that type of humor. They're very well versed in current events and issues. They find the absurd in the world by looking into possible events and turning them in the direction of comedy. More often than not, the absurd happens in the real world. That's a good point, too.
Yeah.
They go for absurdity, and the real world, it can be absurd. So there we go.
Well, they say truth is stranger than fiction, right? So, yeah, I guess the absurd probably has a pretty good shot of coming through.
Gosh, that's a good point. Yeah. Karen Aldberg coming in saying, Alberning, oh my God.
There you go.
Saying, I haven't really paid attention. Sometimes I think it's just pure luck, but then again, who knows? Maybe precognition. Kind of like when Morgan Robertson wrote about the Titan that was eerily the real-life Titanic. So many other examples like that. It's hard to say. Could be pure luck.
Yeah, it could be. That's a great take. The whole story of the Titan in a novel that predated the Titanic by a long time talked about this great super ship that was deemed unsinkable called the Titan that on its maiden voyage to cross the Atlantic hit an iceberg and sunk. So it's scary that, sometimes maybe sometimes writers are channeling a possible multiverse scenario. Who knows? And sometimes that's the one we get. There are stories like that, yeah, of what would seem like precognition, but it's just like, wow, that really happened. So very good points, everybody. I think it's fantastic. What do you think?
It's really hard to say because everyone is bringing in such good points from different angles,
Yeah.
So it's hard to put all my eggs in one basket, but I think it could be a mix, maybe.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Hard to say.
Yeah. Well, that was perfect, and all I can tell you is that Homer knows everything. Oh, Marge. All right. Well,
you know what? Just because I live in the magical, I'm choosing to believe that there's some precogs in the writers' team.
Well, it's actually, I think here's the thing that I've pondered sometimes, and I'm probably no basis in any kind of reality, but it's just what occurs to me is like, I wondered how can some writers just breathe worlds into existence? I mean, the incredible detail they can bring to stories and events that, I mean, like the Game of Thrones, for God's sake. I mean, that's like a chess game that lasts for several seasons, and I've not read the books, but I've seen one of the episodes and stuff, but just the amount of intrigue and layers and layers and layers of things going on, like the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan, which is one of my all-time favorites. Even J.K. Rowling, how she brought this world into existence. And it's like, is it possible that the creative process of writing can sometimes be almost like observing another version of reality? Like, is it possible that they connect to some fibers in the web of all things and are able to see and relay those experiences? I don't think they do it knowingly. Like but it comes as these inspired ideas. And I find it fascinating that, and maybe by virtue of just writing it, it becomes a multiversal reality. Like it just becomes another probability in the billions or trillions or quadrillions of probabilities of things that just pop into existence in the multiverse. And so these stories are the impetus of these realities that the writers can then follow and just continue relating because they're in this synchronous existence with this alternate form of reality. And I don't know, it's kind of crazy to consider, but it just blows my mind how when you're reading a book, it's like, I mean, who could have thought of that? Wow. There's languages that are invented. There's cultures and ideas and descriptions of cities and stuff. And maybe it's because we're a part of that process too. Like when we read it, we add energy to that story and it becomes even more real or something. I don't know. But I find it absolutely a fascinating thing because I do believe we create reality, the one we live in, and probably probabilities that exist in the multiverse around us. So is it possible that these writers are either just creating these realities that then become alive on their own and they can just continue to write more and more stories about it because they're connected somehow psychically to these events? Or are they observing some other reality and just, recording the details, as part of their process? And again, I don't think they do it knowingly, but I just wonder about that. I don't know. You guys will have to tell me what you think about that line of thinking, but I just think creativity is so amazing, But anyway.
Well, yeah. I mean, as far as even scientific theory about multiverse and parallel dimensions and all that, they say that there are an unlimited number of parallel dimensions. And if that's true, then that means every form of reality is taking place right now in just a different universe, a different dimension.
Sure.
So that means in one of those, it's possible that the Harry Potter universe is happening right now.
Right, exactly.
And it's possible that the War of the Worlds is happening right now. It's just, you look far enough down the line, you could find anything.
Sure. Yep. And I watched an actual, it was a non-official biography of J.K. Rowling. I don't know what you call that, but it was a video, a movie, and that basically portrayed the events that led up to it. And she was kind of just sitting there thinking of the name of this main character, and it wouldn't come to her. And it was the way it was depicted in the show, and it could have been just fabrication. I don't know if it's based on any real event that she had, but the way they depicted it was she was just riding on a bus, kind of thinking, looking out the window. And suddenly in her mind, this character popped up and said, "Hi, I'm Harry Potter." Boom, there came the name. Now I will tell you that, in the course of me figuring out that I wanted to do this, again, I'd been struggling my whole life to figure, where do I belong? What am I supposed to be doing? And I never knew until I had the idea for the Paranormal Portal. And then it all just rushed out of me. Like it was a preformed idea that I just tapped into somewhere. It was like, and the name popped in, so many details about what I do on this show just popped into existence in the moment of me realizing this is what I wanted to do. And it was a very incredible thing. So did I pull the idea from somewhere? I don't know, but I think we are truly interconnected with all that exists. All things, this universe, this reality, and billions or trillions or quadrillions of other ones and other versions of us. And so perhaps maybe we're tapping into this, God mind or whatever, the Akashic records or, so many different variations of that thought, but just thoughts. I don't know. Just things to think about.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I will tell you this. This has been the Discord question of the week. So there you have it, folks. I'm getting froggy again. Sorry.
Oh, the frogs are back. Oh no.
Ribbit. Yeah, they are. It's last night I was really dry too. I don't know. It's just been really dry here, like super, super dry. We finally had some rain, but I feel like I'm still dry, like I'm still sucking in that moisture. I think I was probably a frog in a past life, maybe. Ribbit.
That's the secret. Yes.
That might
yes.
be. It might be. So that was the Discord question of the week. Thank you to everybody that responded, took the time to become a part of it, and shared your thoughts and ideas. I think you guys are amazing, and that was a brilliant collection of ideas and thoughts about that. And, you know, maybe it was just as simple as probabilities and possibilities and educated guesses, but it is kind of shocking.
Yeah, no kidding.
That they depicted so many things so accurately. And maybe it's not as many when you think of 750 episodes. But how many of them were just nonsense episodes that weren't based on, any kind of, reality. It was just, I don't know,
Yeah.
like what's the Giggity guy? No, that was Family Guy. Never mind.
That's Family Guy.
Yeah, but there was a lot of Simpsons episodes that were just, silly and ridiculous. But some of them where they actually portrayed, events, it was like, wow, that's surprising.
True. Stood out. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Put it above my nose. 1 sec.
Go ahead. You go ahead and I'll, okay. You're going off camera. Gotcha. Okay. Well, we have a lot more to get to, folks, because we're going to go to an article that we started covering just last Wednesday, as a matter of fact. So let's get to it. And this is an article from, well, that's weird. Oh, no, not this one. How was I at this one? That's weird. Okay, that's not the one I was talking about. The one I'm talking about is not that one either. Nor is it that one. Where the hell is it? Oh, that looks creepy. The hell is that? Oh, movies. Super bleak endings. Okay. I've got so much stuff always open here. It's just kind of crazy. This, I think, is it. Nope, not that one. I'm going to find it one of these times. You rest assured. I will not rest. Here it is. Found it. All right, we're going to a thought catalog article that we kind of broke into last time. And this is from January Nielsen is the author that compiled this, I guess. Or Nielsen January. I'm not sure whether they post the name last or first. But this is 30 hikers on the single scariest thing they've seen deep in the woods. So let's dive into this. And we made it to number 11 last time. So well, let's see where we get to this time. So this is the article, again, thoughtcatalog.com. So check it out. It's a great site. They've got a lot of articles about pretty much anything you're interested in. So if you're not familiar with Thought Catalog, you should check them out. I think you won't be disappointed. So we're on number 11 of this list, and there is no titles. But this person's scariest hiking or scene in the woods is, I drove to a park to go hiking at night in the mountains. So safe, I know. And I hadn't even turned off my car, and it already felt like I was being watched. There weren't any cars around, so I thought maybe it was just me being paranoid for some reason. But for some reason, I look to my right, and I see this weird-looking humanoid shape on top of a little bump hill about 50 feet away. At first, I thought it was a weirdly shaped tree until I saw the arms move. There was no wind at all. So now I know there's a person staring at my car trying not to move. For what I assume is for me to get out of my car and leave to a more secluded area, as we were next to the road. Of course, I left. I don't go hiking at night in that particular park anymore. Yeah, I think that's good. If you look over, you're going to go hiking at night, which already is a very bizarre idea because, my God, But if you look to your right as you're sitting in your car and you see this person, the silhouette of a person standing on top of a little bump about 50 feet away, yeah, go somewhere else because that's not normal. That's not good. That's not good at all.
Unless you're an adrenaline junkie, I don't know why you would hike at night.
I don't know what kind of adrenaline you need if that's what you go for.
For your life.
Just skydiving would be much safer. So,
yeah.
Bungee jumping. There's so many other adrenaline kicks that don't involve you being mass murdered by some lunatic. Number 12. A few friends and I went on an overnight hike in the Rockies. What is it with night hiking, these people?
Oh, my God.
It says, behind our little town a few years back when I was in high school. Our camping site was pretty far up there, and it was getting dark, and the spot where we were at was nestled in a grove of trees secluded from the wind and elements, so we decided to stop there for the night. The four of us built a little fire and ate dinner and just talked for a few hours. Then all of a sudden, my friend leaps forward and douses the fire with our emergency water, plunging us into complete darkness. Needless to say, the rest of us were pretty pissed, as there was no reason for him to do this. He quickly shushes us, and we realize he is absolutely terrified. So scared he couldn't even speak or move. The rest of us managed to get a few words out of him, and he tells us to look up on the ridge and where we should have been camping at. It was pretty far up, so it was kind of hard to see at first, but that sight will haunt me for the rest of my life. There was a fire, a big one, like a bonfire sort of thing. Around the fire were several figures moving in a slow circle. Oh no, very ritualistic. They were humanoid, but not quite. And in they had arms and legs like people, but something just seemed different about them. I can't really explain. Almost like the limbs were too long and skinny or something, but maybe not. Anyway, these figures just moved around the fire in a really slow circle over and over again. My one friend claims he could hear them singing something, but I don't remember anything. Importantly, there was one standing off to the side a little ways, leaning with his arm on a tree branch above his head. It really creeped us out, but we were able to sleep it off. We figured it was a scout troop having, yeah, it looked like scouts, having a camp or something. Morning came and we finished off our hike to the peak, and on our way down we passed the place we saw the figures and decided to check out the camp. It was completely deserted. It was obvious that there had been a fire, and there were footprints everywhere. Inside the fire pit was a small mound of charred animal bones, probably chipmunk, and a pile of 4 or 5 rodent skulls that had been burned. Creepy, right? Then we look over at where the figure was standing. Blood. Not a lot, but enough to be of concern, and not a lot, but enough to be of concern or anything, but enough to be creepy. Then we see the tree branch he was casually leaning against. It was well over any of our heads, and I'm over 6 foot. That would mean that in order for the figure to lean like he was, he would need to be at least 7 feet tall. Needless to say, we got off the mountain very fast, and I've never been up there again. We called Fish and Wildlife Rangers and told them what we saw. They said it was probably just a bunch of kids messing around and not to worry about it. It might have been just that, and we let our imaginations run wild, but all 4 of us swear to this day we all saw the same thing, and it didn't look like a bunch of kids in the dark. I don't believe in ghosts or the supernatural, but those mountains still scare the hell out of me, and I will never go back there again. Don't believe me if you don't want to, but there is something out there, ghosts or dumb kids, and I'm not going to go near it. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's one of those things that if you see that, yeah, you don't go poking. I don't know. I mean, why would you run into what could very well be an incredibly dangerous situation? I
Baffling.
Yeah, it is baffling. All right, number 13. Not intending to mock any religion or beliefs, and I really don't know which group this would be credited to anyway. Wiccans, Druids, just a psycho? Anyway, I was hiking through a park in Central Florida about 3 years ago, kind of dense scrub brush. You can only see the trail in front of you. Brush is chest high on both sides. I'm about 2 miles from the nearest trailhead, and it's around 7 p.m. I had an hour of light left. I had intended on setting up camp when I found the next clearing. First clearing I get to has a gator head in the middle of a circle with stones around it, maybe 2 to 3 weeks old, just a dried skull with scales. Soft tissue is gone. I'd seen gator skulls left by poachers before, and I usually ignore it, but it gave me a weird vibe, so I kept walking. About 15 minutes later and deeper in, I get to another nice-sized clearing, and this time, a few dead birds were strung up to some sticks and hanging in a circle, like a mobile over a baby crib. 7 or 8 small birds, maybe 4 feet across. Had been there for a while. It didn't smell anymore, at least, but still creepy enough to send me on my way. Third time's a charm, right? Wrong. 20 minutes later, after taking to the side paths to get away from the main trail and hopefully avoid any other displays, I find a fresh one. A deer head on a stick, with sticks scattered around, making 4 circles around the base of the stick. The blood was splattered all around the sticks, fresh enough for the flies to still be on it. The head smelled rancid. I didn't see the body, but I didn't look for it either. I got out of there, and it was dark before I got back to my truck. I called Fish and Game the next morning because the gator and deer would have to be taken out of season. Told them what I found, and apparently this wasn't the first time somebody called about animal effigies in that park. Never went back, but I am curious just how many other shrines were out there. Yeah, that's creepy as hell.
Oh.
What do you think of that, Sheldon?
Just some rituals out in the woods, I guess.
Yeah, it's just some rituals. Just fine. No, that's creepy as hell. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to 14. About a year ago, I was taking a walk at a local nature park. It's rather big, right alongside a big inlet river. I tend to cycle up there as there is plenty of drops and jumps for me to do on my mountain bike. But this one day/night was a bit weird. You know, when you can just feel something in the air? I was going about my business as usual and realized it was getting pretty late. Like, not dark, but the light was beginning to fade. Not many people were up there that day, all day, but I just felt like I was being watched. I lined up a drop which runs next to a set of stairs, quite a long one. Right as I hit the drop, I hear this almighty squark. What's a squark? Really throaty. Bit of a roar combined with like a bird, I guess. My handlebars wobbled a bit, but I managed to get to the bottom without falling. I slam on my brakes and look up the drop behind me, and there was this figure, human-like, just standing at the top, and he was wearing denim jeans with this weird, almost pagan-esque robe/garment, which had like feathers in it, all tattered and stuff. And he just looked at me, deadpan, no expression, and after about 10 seconds, just let out this noise again, really loud, eyes stretched out. I pooped my pants and began to cycle out. Now it's about 10-minute ride of windy rather, going over little wooden bridges covering small river runs. And I swear to God, this noise happens like 4 more times, each a little closer. And to top it off, there was nobody around. Like normally you get couples walking through or older folk with their dogs, but nobody. Nothing. I've been back twice since, and each time I just cannot get comfortable enough to stick around and enjoy myself like I used to. One day I think I'll grab a bunch of my pals from hockey and go exploring and see if we can figure that stuff out. Yeah, I don't know. That's
just creepiness.
Yeah. You know, you hear these stories, and I don't pretend to know a whole lot about it because, you know, I know a bit about some esoteric practices and stuff, but not about the dark ones. I really avoid looking into any of that stuff just because, man, I don't want to know. And maybe that's the ignorance is bliss thing, but I don't know. It's hard to make sense out of it. And I don't know that that's what these guys were doing or these people. I don't know, but it does sound very dark and sinister. So I don't have any answers, but yeah, that's creepy. Something just ritualistic. Yeah, right. Sounds really ritualistic though, right?
Even in a manifestation way, rituals kind of make me nervous.
Yeah, well, yeah, they should.
Yeah.
Since we are
Putting all that
manifestors.
effort and all that time into this one purpose,
Yeah.
it's more than just a simple prayer.
Yeah, exactly. Now, case in point, rituals are primarily just symbology. It's just people acting out symbols, or whether in gesture, whether in writing, whether in movement, and maybe all of the above with sigils and signs and seals and stuff. But essentially, the bottom line is it just is supposed to focus your energies towards an outcome. And I don't know. I mean, most of the symbology and stuff I think it's mostly, I don't know, it's not profound in and of itself. But what is profound is that if somebody is going to work that hard to learn and try to create things of darkness, that's an absolutely terrifying idea,
Yeah.
So that kind of fixation on dark and sinister things, I think, is what is freaky the most to me, because I don't know, I just don't understand it, I guess, is kind of the big takeaway. But yeah.
Justin Info saying Aleister Crowley spent 6 months on a ritual.
Yeah, the ritual was called the Abramelin, and he didn't complete it.
Wow.
That was some of the legend stories around the whole idea of the Loch Ness Monster, is that maybe he created it by not finishing that ritual. I don't pretend to know, but the ritual that he was trying to do takes 6 months. And it's supposed to, if you successfully complete it, as I understand it, it's supposed to give you dominion over all the demons and, dark things. But
Wow.
if you don't complete it, well, maybe dark things just do what the hell they want. So
What is the ritual like? What are you supposed? Why does that take 6 months? That's what I'm curious of.
Oh, it's because it's that in depth with a lot of focus. I mean, I don't know the specifics of the Abramelin. I just know what it's called. I know that it exists, and it's supposed to take 6 months. I know that Crowley attempted it and didn't complete it, but I don't know what makes up this ritual. But I'm sure it probably has to do with several lunar cycles, along with astrological events that you have to cover. So it's not just like, hocus pocus, abracadabra. It takes a lot. Yes, this is live. Zeke, ZIQ. This is live, of course. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, we're live.
It's good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. So that's how you know it's live, because I said that.
Yep.
Otherwise, I'm doing a hell of a premonition. So good to see you all, actually. Yeah, careful what you conjure up. You're absolutely right, Jess. And that's the other part of it. That's kind of why I think Ouija boards are so incredibly dangerous. Is because most of the people using Ouija boards have no idea of how to not only you're kind of conjuring, but you're also channeling, and how to handle that. So you're making a blind channel of yourself, and you're letting something in. And sometimes what you let in isn't good, and that's where these things really go south. But yeah, crazy scrying. Yeah, there is scrying. Scrying is pretty powerful, though. That's pretty, for the most part, scrying is benign. You're not actively evoking or invoking anything. You're just focusing, and so.
I mean, the crazy thing is like. Imagine, look there's all the stories we read and all the reports we hear about people mishandling of Ouija boards.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm just thinking of the immense amount of darkness you're inviting if you were to do Crowley's ritual. I already forgot the name of it, but
yeah.
Imagine all that darkness you're inviting.
Yeah.
Unless it's warding too, I don't know.
I'm sure there's a lot to it. It's not just just one focus. You probably have to. It probably has stages, is what I imagine makes that so, or elaborate. Is that stages with lunar and cycles and times of the year, seasons, lunar cycles, the whole works.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure probably some of it is dealing with just protection and maintaining control. Did you see that giant Ouija board? Yeah, I did. I did see that. Somebody made a huge one. And,
really?
Yeah. I think things like that are mostly, obviously gimmicky. I don't think you're going to summon bigger spirits that way. But
Bigger portal.
yeah, I'm going to get a giant. But yeah,
Giant demon.
and when a big demon, I don't want one of those kittens. So whatever it is, but yeah, that's craziness. Very crazy. All right, number 15. I've spent many a night hiking in deserts and mountains and never felt uncomfortable or saw anything creepy until the time I looked up. I took a night hike to some petroglyphs not too far from Durango, Colorado. Oh, and something happened. Oh, Just Info is having a... I'm sorry, what's going on with Just Info?
What?
Is his connection... Is Just Info, you having a bad connection or what is it? Unfortunately, if there is, it is a connection issue. There's nothing I can do. My connections are all green to YouTube, and then after that, there's nothing else that I have the ability to help with. I'm not sure what's going on. Mom just said that Just Info's having a bad connection or a bad time. I don't know what's going on. But
things looking good on my end.
Okay, well, if you could check the chat and just see if he's mentioned what's going on, I'd appreciate it, Sheldon.
Yeah, I'll look.
Okay, thank you. Well, I took a night hike to some petroglyphs not too far from Durango, Colorado. I was alone, was about an hour hike, and it was just after midnight when I got to the petroglyphs. I checked them out and then sat on a ledge and busted out some summer sausage and a flask of whiskey. It's the breakfast of champions. Summer sausage and whiskey. Just like Mom used to make. I look up at the sky and way up there is a speck moving pretty quickly. Now, I've seen this before and been told that it's the International Space Station or a satellite. So I'm watching it zoom across the sky thinking how cool it is. When suddenly it reverses direction. Yeah, that's not supposed to happen.
Ooh.
My mind is doing mental gymnastics trying to figure it out. Maybe two satellites passed each other and I lost sight of the one. I was originally watching. Sorry, the same sentence. Except it happened again, and it went back the other way on a slightly different course. I actually stood up and said, "What the hell?" I don't know much about space, but I felt really uneasy watching that white speck way up there doing that. Like my mind is seeing something it knows shouldn't be happening. And then I felt a sense of dread, which was bizarre. And then I lost sight of the speck completely and hightailed it back to my truck. Well, thank God it was way up there, and it's probably not a direct danger to you as the observer. But yeah, I've seen things in the sky. Obviously, I saw the UFO up close and personal, but I've seen several other things way up in the sky that I very similar to this. I've seen those little specks, those little dots. That's there's a way that satellites orbit the Earth. It's not just this ramshackle, well, I'm going to do mine this direction, you do yours that way. They do have to stay on a specific course so that we don't just have an atmosphere of space shrapnel up there circling our world. So they are kind of specific about that. But they aren't just launched haphazardly. But I've seen those little specks. One coming along, I'm watching, and then within the viewfinder, I see another one coming, and they literally look like they're about to hit each other. But then they pass, so there must be an altitude difference from one to the other, but they're not following that normal trajectory like the space station and everything else that I've seen go overhead. They're kind of doing their own thing, and I don't know what they are. I'm not saying that they're UFOs. Well, they are UFOs because they're unidentified to me. But I'm not saying that it's aliens or whatever. I just don't know what it is. But it's pretty creepy stuff. Yeah. So, all right.
Ooh.
But anyway, yeah, I think it's not unusual to look up and see strange things like that. So, but anyway.
So yeah, Justin Info didn't say anything about connection, but he did say he was having a bad few weeks.
Oh, I'm sorry, brother. That's tough. And honestly, life is tough most of the time. But yeah. I know you got that book published, so fantastic. congratulations about that, and just hang in there, brother.
Awesome.
Hang in there, because life gets heavy for all of us. It really does. I mean, nobody has the perfect world, unfortunately, and I don't know. I wish I had some sage words to be like, yeah, just buck up, fella. But it doesn't work like that. It's just, all I can tell you is that no matter how heavy my life has got, I made it. I made it through it. And I know many other people that have made it through things that I couldn't have made it through, and I don't pretend to know what you're dealing with, brother, but man, just hang in there. Just know that whatever it is, it's going to pass. And, everything continues. And remember, you have the ability to create any life you want, and I hope it comes together for you. I really do, because, I love all you guys. I love those of you that have been here and have been part of the family for a long time. And you're certainly one of those people. So I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry things are heavy right now. I really am. And I'm just sending you all my love and just telling you, hang in there, brother. It's going to pass, and it'll get better. There's always, that's the cycle of life. It's just peaks and valleys, and the valleys suck. They do. I wish we could stay on peaks. I really wish we could, but it doesn't seem to be the human condition. But just hang in there and know that you're not alone. If you need to talk or whatever, send me an email. I'll be happy to correspond with you. And if I can help you through it, man, I'm there for you. So paranormalportalradio@gmail.com, or message me privately in Discord. We'll have a talk, man. It'll be good. It'll come together. But, all right. So I don't mean to just dismiss that and go, okay, let's, continue. But, just know that we're there for you. You're surrounded by friends here. And if not me, then I'm sure there's someone else would be thrilled to talk with you and help you through this. So you're not alone, man. You're never alone. We're a family here in the portal. What was that, Sheldon?
That's right. Oh, I agree. I was absolutely agreeing with you. Yeah.
Okay. All right. It's time for a light supernatural story. All right. This is not so much of a hiking, though. It was a survival test for joining a mountaineering club in my campus. Wow. There's 20-ish of us, including myself, in the middle of the woods with our foods were confiscated by the recruitment committee, so that we needed to find natural foods from nature, such as fruit, especially banana. Wow. I want to go survive where they are. We don't have those up here in Idaho, unless you're at a grocery store. Edible plants, or even locust or snake, if lucky. Miserable test, but valuable experience indeed. One day, it was raining so hard in the afternoon that all of our 5 groups hadn't finished set up our group bivouacs. We intentionally set them near each other so we could check everyone instantly if something is going wrong. No one was talking or chatting to each other. It was only given by I'm sorry, I'm getting a hiccup, so I got to take a drink.
The frogs are trying to speak.
Yeah, no kidding. I don't know where the hiccups came from. Just kind of came from nowhere. We once again, nobody was talking or chatting to each other. It was only given by our soaked clothes and empty stomachs when suddenly all of us heard a hysterical woman scream. In 5 seconds, surprised woman scream. Wow. Oh, thank you, Maggie.
Thank you, Maggie. Woo!
Everyone heard this scream, and the scream was so close and loud. We all thought it was one of us screaming because of a snake or something. Man, I really got the hiccups. That's weird. Usually only get that after I've eaten something.
Must have been the emotional buffet.
Yeah, probably. Excuse me. I was going to try to say a word and I got the hiccup. So naturally, the boys jolted instantly to the bivouac we thought was the source of the scream. No girls were crouching or standing up as we imagined, and all of us were staring at each other, especially the girls, as we thought one of them was pulling a prank on us to surprise us. No one claimed the scream, nor admitted that it was her joke. Everyone looked equally shocked. After minutes of investigating the girls, we then went back to our respective groups with an unanswered incident. Even after the recruitment process was finished and we went back to civilization. After we officially members of the club, we shared that story to our seniors, and it turns out the place my batch used to set bivouacs was the first time to be used in 5 years. And the last batch to use that part of the woods experienced the exact screaming incident, also without any logical explanation. And they chose to base that incident on the batch name, Forest's Cry. Wow. Well, this is annoying. Wow. Oy, oy, oy.
You're doing great.
Yeah. It's great to have a word come halfway out and then stop because my throat closed. So I go, okay. And then I did it for real that time.
I know.
I was trying to copy it and then it happened for real. Ah.
How much did you drink on that break?
Not enough, apparently. My God. I didn't even eat anything. I didn't even grab like a snack on the way through. It's really just the joy of, I don't know, the frog, I guess. He's in there kicking my throat. All right. Number 17. Excuse me. It was late, and we decided to take a shortcut through construction site because we were tired. Because all the streets around the construction site were closed, it was completely empty. Just the two of us in the South Loop area of Chicago. We're crossing this small bridge and just chatting away about what we liked the most about the show. I was looking at him and then turned my head forward and am face to face with what looks like, oh God, a zombie rat. Yikes.
Oh God.
Someone had taken a mummified rat or squirrel or something and used wire to position it like it was pouncing midair at your face. Scared the hell out of me. Yeah. Well, there you go. I mean, I'm glad it was just an effigy and not an actual, mutant rat. But I think that's how they make superheroes, though. I don't know. Could be.
True.
Could be. Oh, man, I want to get rid of this hiccup. Yeah.
No, keep it going.
No, don't. I could feel the damn bubble in my throat. It's like right stuck in there in the middle. So it's like,
So, you literally said yoke at one point. I died.
I'm glad you're enjoying this. Thank you. You should go blow your nose or something, will you?
Yeah, I'm out of tissue. I'm actually going to get more.
All right. Number 18 wasn't hiking, but was camping near the Appalachian Trail when I was a teenager. Admittedly, to go drink on the 4th of July. Lived near the Appalachian Trail my whole life, so I knew that it was a ripe spot for meth heads and serious poverty. That's sad. We'd chosen a nice big clearing that was next to a parking lot, but we knew the area well enough to know that it wasn't a very visited spot. Got to drink somewhere. We woke up in the middle of the night to a low hum of some kind of vehicle. Well, dismissed it as being in the parking lot and fell back asleep. And the next thing you know, the ground was shaking. Felt the ground almost compressing, so the car couldn't be more than 2 to 3 feet from our tent, driving at a slow pace with the headlights off. Naturally thought I was a park ranger, but was too scared to be caught drinking to say anything. So I froze up and just pretended to be asleep. Well, eventually the car drives by, full gas, and I could hear it go off in the distance. But all of a sudden, everything was silent. And I see a lot of flashlights walking past our tents. I dismissed it as how lights can look like a lot of lights when shown through a tent. So, thinking it was my friends who had gotten out to check what was up with that car, I told them, "Shut off the lights." Well, they did. All went out at the same time. I then turned over to see the outline of all my friends in their sleeping bags, but since we had one more tent, I wasn't worried. The guys in the other tent the next day then asked us if we'd gotten out and drove through the campgrounds last night. Well, we said no, and I then asked them if they went to check it out, and they in turn said no. They thought it was us just returning to our tents. I then had the most uneasy feeling in the world, like I was about to throw up. So I don't think it's really paranormal. It's just kind of a creepy moment, but
Yeah.
But creepy nonetheless.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, how are we doing for time? Because we got to do the cryptid corner too. Oh dear God, we really got to do the cryptid corner. How did we get there?
We got into a time warp. It happens.
We did. Why do I think of like Rocky Horror Picture Show every time I hear the word time warp? All right.
Oh,
I've
never seen it.
No? Okay.
No.
Okay, well, we're going to head over to Sasquatch Chronicles blog because we got to hit the cryptid corner before we're all done here, folks. Because by God, life without cryptids would just be
for naught.
For naught. Not.
Yes.
Okay. I like it. Still hiccuping though. God dang it. I'm trying to.
Are you gonna read some more?
Yeah, it's like. Yeah. What the hell? I gotta read because you, Mr. Snuffy Face, you can't read anything. So.
I know of an excuse.
Yeah. Thanks for chuckling at my expense, though. I appreciate that a bunch.
I couldn't. I was trying. Okay, I was trying.
I know. I appreciate your efforts on my behalf. First, I got salt in my eye, and now I'm hiccuping. This is a banner night here on the portal. Jeez.
It's great.
All right. Now it ends with a. All right. August 28th, Sasquatch Chronicles blog, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, jeez. This is dumb. All right, here we go. This is from Wes Germer's Sasquatch Chronicles, ladies and gentlemen. And I encourage you to check it out. Special thanks to Wes, of course. He gives us his okay to cover these things. So we appreciate it a bunch. August 28th, ongoing interaction with something. A listener writes, first, so I'm not wasting your time. This is not Sasquatch related. I'm sending this in hope that you may have heard something like this to give me some direction. If this is beyond your scope, feel free to just delete. Here's the background. Approximately 25 years ago, my wife and I purchased a vacation home on the eastern shore of Delmarva. I've never heard of that, Delmarva. The home is a one-story ranch. Our small development borders a saltwater tributary that joins a large bay a half mile from us. And we are 3 miles from the ocean. Idyllic location. And at the time of our purchase, very, very unpopulated. Love these hiccups. Oh. Dick. Oh, God. First event. We had owned the place for a few years. Oh, God. Using it on weekends and holidays. It was early September. Weirdly, everything I will describe happens around August into September. It was a beautiful, cool night, and we were sleeping with the bedroom windows open. Around 2 a.m., I heard something moving outside. I got up and looked out the window and saw a very small woman with a weathered face and a coarse gray/black hair looking up at me. For reference, she did not reach the height of the windowsill. As I looked beyond her, I saw 2 other individuals, also very small, wearing hooded robes, like something a monk would wear in the Middle Ages. Their faces were obscured by the hoods. Oh, you're just having a ball. I can see your head just popping over there. Thanks for at least muting yourself. I appreciate that part. As soon as she saw me, they quickly took about 6 steps to the right and literally disappeared before my eyes. Wow. I was stunned. At that moment, my wife woke up and asked, "Who's in the backyard?" There was no way I was going to tell her what I'd just witnessed, so I told her it was our elderly neighbor who was at the time suffering the beginning stages of dementia. I left it at that. She accepted it, and that was that. In my mind, I kind of thought, maybe it was a dream. Well, the second event, roughly around 2008, again in late August or early September, we're enjoying a week at our home, and by that time, the area had grown quite a bit, and we built a 1,200 square foot addition. That one's terrible. Sheldon, you're turning purple. You're turning purple.
It's a war over here. I'm battling.
By the time the area had grown quite a bit, because we had built a 1,200 square foot addition onto the back of our home, giving us a sort of a bedroom suite with a sitting room and bath. We also fenced the rear of our property with a 7-foot white vinyl fence. Again, at around 2 a.m., I was awakened by a noise in the backyard. Well, I jumped out of bed and looked out the window and saw the same old woman looking up at me. When she saw me looking down at her, her expression changed from shock to absolute fear. Behind her stood 2 individuals wearing robes with the hood up, and they started walking again to the right. I sprinted through the house to the sliding door in my family room, and I found nothing. My wife remained asleep through this, and I shut the window, turned on the AC, and thereafter made any excuse possible to keep the window shut. The third event, so this is approximately 2 years ago. For reference, our backyard is inaccessible to anyone due to the fence. My wife is a gardener, both flowers and vegetables, and she'd planted quite a few tomato plants in the containers. And as this was the end of the season, was removing the now dead plants from the pots. She called me into the backyard and asked if I'd buried anything in the pots as a joke. She showed me numerous ceramic figures, both whole and broken, that were buried in the pots. These were the same pots that we had noticed cherry tomatoes disappearing from. Sometimes a pile around the pot and sometimes just missing. I squared up with her and told her what I'd been seeing and how I misled her the first time. And to her credit, she believes me 100%. My wife is a religious girl and really cannot handle any mention about anything paranormal. Well, she took the figures and out loud said, "Leave us alone," and threw them as far as she could into the wooded lot behind us. She then put a crucifix in the window facing outward in the 2 rooms. The latest event, which brings me to last night, as I said, my wife is an avid gardener, has planted and potted flowers and vegetables in our garden. I got up at 4 a.m. this morning to go surf fishing, and she called me to ask if I had moved her pots around. I said no, and when I got back today, she showed me a 3-foot planter pot. It says bot, but I think he meant pot. That had been moved and placed on top of the other plants, something neither of us would do. This planter was moved several feet and is long and heavy and would have taken 2 hands to move. After the third event, I really had to talk her down because she wanted to sell our home. Currently, she is massively freaked out and afraid to stay here alone. We're now full-time residents here and have moved here full-time around 5 years ago. Any advice you might give would be appreciated. Whatever this is, so far has not exhibited any negative behavior. I've adopted a live and let live attitude, and my wife, on the other hand, is freaking out. Now, that's weird. The first comment, very weird. Yes, it is. I don't know what to make of that. It kind of seems like a really cool event, to be honest with you, though, because you're making contact with somebody that isn't normally here.
Yeah.
This is not someone that usually lives in our neighborhood. So, but they're visiting, and apparently they like cherry tomatoes.
Verticuda says sounds like little people.
Right. I don't know what he means by their size, but I was thinking about gnomes or something like that. However, the steps to the right and completely disappearing would seem to be transdimensional, but we don't know that the little people are always here either. So maybe they kind of hopscotch back and forth, much like this. But I think it's a cool story, to be honest with you. They haven't exhibited any kind of aggression at all. they're just coming and having some cherry tomatoes. So I'm like, screw it. Help yourselves.
It doesn't sound malicious.
No,
nothing to fear as far as what the signs are.
And I look at situations like that and I'm like, would it be possible? Because here's the thing. I think history would, at least lore, would tell us that people have conversed with these little people. There was one reference that I've mentioned several times on the years through the show. But there was his name was Publius Octavius, I think. He was a general in the Roman expansion up into the Britons, and then on the retraction, as they were heading, closing out the campaign and coming back to Rome, he decided to settle in, I think, the Netherlands. And he tells the story in his journal, of all things that he was journaling, how he met this small white bearded man that wore self-sewn clothes. I think it had a conical cone hat, like a gnome, and he said that he would see it in the clearing in the meadow, tending to wounded animals and stuff, and he would talk to it, and finally had a dialogue with this little being, and the little being said that they were an ancient race known as the Kuwalden, Kuwalden, and that they were kind of all over the place, but there weren't as many as there used to be. So it sounded like at that point, and remember, this is thousands of years ago, but it sounded like at that point, like the race was diminishing or maybe wasn't doing so well here or whatever, but that they were here. And I thought, God, that's a really cool story. I mean, and the rest of his journal is just really apparently normal, just him kind of writing out the events of his life. So is it possible that this person would have an opportunity to possibly create a dialogue? Maybe put out some cherry tomatoes and, thank you, here you go. Thanks for being peaceful, something, I don't know, and just see if that relationship could develop, because again, there's allegedly a historical precedence for it. And there's many more historical references or legendary references of people talking with some of these diminutive beings. So I know it's kind of out there for a lot of our Western sensibilities, but I sincerely believe that legends are born of some truth somewhere. Somehow these stories started. Could they just be fabrications? I guess, but to have entire cultures, disparate cultures around the world have legends of these little people would say something, kind of like with Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Yowie, Yaren, any number of names throughout the face of the world, that these things there's all cultural references. The Aborigines have talked about the Yowie or whatever name they had for them for apparently thousands of years. So if they are a global species of some kind, then is it too much to say, well, these other legendary or references could also have a truth to them? Now, some of these little people are absolutely diabolical, like they hate us, and maybe they have good reason to. I don't know. I don't know where they got to the hate part, but it depends on which stories you listen to and what references. But like the Pukwudgies hate us because they were, jealous of the giants and liking people and not liking them so much. So they just became jerks. So I don't know if that's a valid reference or not, but it's certainly some of the oral traditions of the First Nations. So anyway, who knows? But a very cool story. I think that's very, very impressive. What do you think, Sheldon?
What?
What do you think?
But what?
Were you not hearing me?
I was listening to chat. I was reading chat, sorry.
Oh, okay. I was just talking about, do you think these little people may very well be out there, or what do you have? Do you have an opinion on that?
I have thought about them from other stories we read, but I just have no idea. I don't really have an opinion right now, I would say, on it.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, I would like to think that they're out there. I think it makes it really fascinating that there could be these other beings out there. I mean, there's plenty of other things. There's Bigfoot. There's dogmen. There's, any number of, there's the pale crawlers, which are like the rakes and such.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, why do we have to stop with 3 or 4 or 5, or maybe all of them are real and in their respective realities, and maybe they come here, maybe they know how. We just seem to have lost a lot of ancient knowledge that I think our forebears really did know. Like, there's so many, ancient cultures that talked about portals, and they seem to have an awareness and an acceptance of them. I think in our modern age, we've simply forgotten about them, or it's been lost to time and we just don't know. So
I think kind of like Maura's saying, I do agree. There's some, I am A-okay. I am A-okay being fake, like rake. I am A-okay that being not real. If that is the case.
Yeah,
that
they
is
are creepy.
fine.
Yeah, I agree. Now, Chucky says that his grandma saw two gnomes. That's really cool. Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, I'll tell you, these stories exist from some basis, and these beliefs, like the Fae. The Fae has been a cultural belief in many cultures around the world as well. And I've seen some crazy things like these little orbs of light. Some people say it could be the Fae. Well, it could be, I guess. I don't know. I have no idea what for sure it is. I just always assumed they were spirit orbs. But what if they weren't? What if they were more of the Fae or some other creature like that? And again, I know that sounds bizarre here in America in the year 2023 to be talking about fairies, but these beliefs are out there. They're out there, so they must be based on something.
Plus, it's all unknown.
It's all unknown.
So it's
exactly.
It's just as valid to say it's fake, and it's just as valid to say it's real.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's really, you don't know.
Well, I'll tell you this. Looks like we've completed another round of the Paranormal Portal. Remember, tomorrow, Deborah Varner is going to be here doing readings for all of you listeners and watchers. Maximus, orbs are spirits. Yeah, you might be right. But some people say that the orbs are also representative of other things, like the Fae and other beings that aren't spirits. So some even tie it to the Sasquatch phenomena. There's several people that have noticed a correlation of the Sasquatch and these orbs. So, yeah, they interconnected. Who knows? But great food for thought. Sheldon, anything in closing quickly?
This is iHeartRadio.
Hold on. Let me disconnect the network.
iHeartRadio makes you want to move. When
Makes
you have
you
a
wanna
great
move,
melody,
move,
song
move.
release, right?
Didn't hear anything.
No. Well, it came through the Skype.
There we go. Yes.
Yep. Okay.
All right, guys. If you guys want to check out the homepage of the Paranormal Portal, check out paranormalportal.net. That's where you can, like Dad was talking about earlier, you can check out the next podcast episode, even get your own interview if you have an amazing experience to share. Go ahead and check out the website, check out on all the fun, and also check out the Discord.
Absolutely. Check it out because they're all out there. Again, a lot of the links are in the show description. If you don't remember them now, just check the description. I've got a lot of links in there that have to do with the portal. And if you're on TikTok, you can tick my talk. That'd be fine.
Oh, God,
I'm
don't
over
say
there.
that.
Why is that bad? I don't know.
I don't know.
Just a play on words, right? I don't know.
Sure. Yeah, there you go.
It wasn't sexual or anything. I wasn't being inappropriate, I don't think. Unless it... All right, whatever.
Right, Dad.
Okay, Laffy McLaffy. All right. So thanks for being here, everybody. Karen Alberding, thank you. And all you guys, we really appreciate it. Again, tomorrow night, Deb's going to be here. We're going to be doing readings, so tune in. And if you call in early and hold the line. We'll get to everybody that calls in. Just be patient. And if you're calling from somewhere far abroad that it's going to kill you in phone rates to call in, let me know. And I'll try to push you right to the front because that's not fair. I mean, some of you guys have to pay exorbitant phone prices just to call in. So I'll get you in and on as quickly as possible. So anyway, that's what we got for tonight. Remember, we love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day. And remember to laugh as much as you can. Hope you guys had a good time here. Thank you all so much. And until next time, which is tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on YouTube or TFR Live. Check us out. All right. Good night, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.
Right.